Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Bunker is back again today with another one of its notorious episodes. And oh boy, we have a special one today. So, today, me and Past George are finally putting an end to our Flak 88 project, the Deadly 88 project. So, Past George, I have unlocked Past George from the closet, and he managed to construct a diorama and compose a scene. And this scene was composed due to an inspiration I took from a photo. I didn't replicate the photo, I just took inspiration from it. And I am really happy with the outcome. Now, what I have to say about this episode. The only thing I have to note about this episode is that apart from the thing that I had in mind while I was constructing the diorama, I conversed with some friends. These friends were none other than Michael and Rob, and while we were conversing, I was showing them the initial layout of my diorama, and they gave me some suggestion and constructive criticism. It wasn't criticism at all, they just gave me some suggestions and taught me some stuff. And I want to thank them because when a lot of people gather together and through their collective efforts and ideas, you can create something wonderful. I want to help them because I believe that I created something great, and I want to state that that's what friends are all about, and that's what friends in this hobby are all about. You can share your suggestion and you can explain in a good manner. So this build is the result of many suggestions shared in a good manner. So I don't want to bore you any further, guys. You guys know the usual drill. Grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, and crack the mandatory cold one or hot brew, depends on which part of the world you are. And let's see what me and Past George have in stock for this episode. Well, hello guys, welcome back to what it looks to be part 8. Past George is here with you. I just got freed out from the closet and I am back to work onto our Deadly 88 project. So let's do a quick recap. What have we done up to this point? We have assembled, painted and weathered our Flak 88 as a deployed anti-tank gun. We have given it the winter camo pattern. We have changed the crew with a more properly dressed crew, you know, a more fashionable crew. And now we are at the stage that we are talking diorama, if you get what I'm saying. We need to construct a diorama. So usually I replicate a photo, but this time I haven't found any photo that I am able to replicate, either because the photos is too, generic, too plain to my eye. I haven't found anything that it is particularly interesting for me. I have found many photos that it is just the 88 deployed in a trench or in or somewhere just staying, just being there. So I didn't want to do something like that. I wanted to do something with interest, something with quote unquote action, something that a scene that something happens. So I took inspiration from a photo that I'm going to place somewhere in the screen over here, probably. And I opted to deviate a little bit from that one and create something out of my quote-unquote imagination. So I have started working on that. Okay, off camera I have just measured and assembled my base. When I say base, I mean this one. Yeah, this rectangular piece. That's what I did. Let's see if I can place it on frame. Give me a moment, guys. This is not the usual blue foam, it is insulation foam. I don't know why it has a grooves, but anyway, I have founded it. It was free. I'm not gonna complain about the grooves. Boom, I am going to use it either way. Everything is gonna get covered. I have, as usual, framed it in this material, that it is used for the bottom of your drawer or the back of your wardrobe. That material that comes with the latest furnitures. As I've said, I have encased it, and let's talk about the diorama layout. Let's grab the 88. So our main protagonist is the 88. Is gonna be placed somewhere here in the middle. Now, either it's gonna point towards that way or that way. That doesn't matter. It is the same for it is the same for me, if you ask me. But apart that, we need to explain how this transports. As I've said, bogies were on the kit. I'm going to include them onto the scene. So bogie number 1 is gonna go somewhere here, and bogie number 2 is gonna go just in front of it over here, just to fill the void and just for me to use the bogies. Whatever I am talking about here is not the final appearance of the diorama. I am just toying with it. I haven't decided it for the full layout, but I am talking about what I have in my mind. So bogies over there. 88 will probably move somewhere here just to give it some space. And now let's place the crew. So we have our guy with the binoculars. He's gonna go probably somewhere here. We have the operator, the guy that cranks the handles, gets the gun, the barrel in position. So he is going to be placed over here on top of the operating the 88. We have our loader, who is going to be over here inserting a cell onto the 88. We have the guy that passes around the ammo, so he's probably gonna be somewhere here waiting for this guy to load the cell in order for him to pass him the ammo. And we have this poor fella that pulls the ammo out of the containers, so he's probably gonna be somewhere here just to fill the empty void. Now over here as well, because this guy is positioned, I am going to add the ammo containers, which now leaves me with a bit of a void here on this area. So what I have decided to do, I need some vegetation, you know. This is not gonna be okay. It is good enough if you ask me, but it is but we need vegetation. We need to add interest and add even more life in our scene. So what was my thoughts about that? Over here I am going to create a trends, not trends in a literal way. I am going to add a line of bushes, you know, in order for the 88 to be hidden from plain sight, mostly hidden, provide some cover, you know, and give some interest. So this is the layout I am opting for. I don't think that I am going to deviate a lot. What's my next step, you may ask? My next step is to start immediately working on the groundwork and on the bushes. I am going to start with the bushes over here because I want them to look embedded with the groundwork. I want them to look a part of the groundwork, you know. A bush, a tree, whatever comes out of the ground. I don't want it to levitate on top of our groundwork. So that's why I'm going to add the bushes first and then my groundwork. Now what I am going to use for the bushes, let me move the diorama out of the way and grab my material. So Michael, Rob, the usual suspects, my friends that I converse with a lot, use this stuff. I wasn't familiar with this stuff at all. I am still not familiar. I know that it is called rubberized horsehair, and it is the material that we find inside old couches. You know, inside old couches, inside the pillows of old couches. So I am going to use that to replicate bushes. If you pluck a small portion out, you can manipulate it and make it look like this. You know, you can position it, you can, you know, do stuff like that. Now imagine a whole line of this. This is going to look like a bush, you know, a hedgerow, if I may say it so. So my plan is to experiment with this stuff, see how it works, get familiar with it, and use it for my hedgerow bush line. Okay guys, update number one on quote unquote number one on our diorama. As you can see, I have made the bush line. It's not a hedgerow. If I told hedgerow in my previous clip, I was mistaken. I thought that hedgerow was a bush line, but it seems like hedgerow is a totally different thing. Now I know. Anyway, bush line is ready. What I am opting for, what I have done first of all, and then what I am opting for. Let me move the 88 aside. I have dug a small trench. I have filled the trench with wall filler, mainly because I didn't want to use PVA glue to embed the rubberized horsehair, because wall filler would dry quicker, and that's what happened. And I have plucked rubberized horsehair, gave it, I kept plucking it, pulling it, stretching it, etc., gave it volume, the volume that I had in mind, and I created this line of wild bush, shrubs, etc., etc. Let me give you a closer look if I can. Here is how it looks from up close, of course, and I am going to paint it later, but right now this is going to stay exactly how it is. Let me see if I can return the camera to the original position. Yep, I think that we are there. Now, next thing is the rest of the groundwork. What I am thinking of creating a snowy scene, another snowy scene. No vegetation, of course, at all, apart this dry shrubs, dry bush line, call it whatever you want. I don't know, bush line seems weird to my ears, but that's the only word I have to describe it right now. Anyway, I am going to build up the groundwork. I am going to fill the gaps over here, and I of course will apply my the dirt from my garden over here, where the crew operates mostly, because mostly over here we're gonna have snow that crew walks on, so we are not gonna have snow, we're gonna have mud, dry dirt, whatever. So let me build up the groundwork, of course, and I am going to dip the 88 and the rest of the elements onto my groundwork, so they will leave an imprint. I don't want a gun as heavy as this one to levitate on top of my groundwork. I want it to be embedded on it. Oh god, I probably killed that word. Update guys, and we are back with the groundwork nearly done, I will say, mainly because it hasn't dried completely. I used my usual homemade concoction, dirt from my garden, sprinkled, painted the whole base with PVA, and then sprinkled the dirt on top. And then I have also sprayed diluted PVA with water on top of it to seal the whole thing. Now I have changed the diorama layout a bit. I have conversed with my friends Michael and Rob. Thank you guys. I was mainly conversing with them in order to take opinions about my ideas, and they pointed out some really good stuff, like the bogies, one over here and the other one over here, needed to be as close as possible to the gun in case of a hasty retreat, and to spread everything more evenly to the diorama. So I have changed the diorama layout a little bit. I have moved the 88 a little bit further, installed this bogie over here, which is closer to this leg, not the foldable leg, and I have installed attached this bogie over here. So let's talk hypothetically for a moment. Let's say that these guys need to retreat. They will clip one bogie over here, clip the other bogie over here, a truck comes, picks them up, and they go their merry way. Anyway, I don't think there is a merry way on a retreat, but anyway. So my layout will be this. This guy will sit over here because he is the operator. Commander will sit over here. Loader, of course, will stay here. Guy that passes the cell will be here, and our last guy with the ammunition containers will be working over here. So this is my new dio layout. I think that it is good enough. It is good enough now. I am gonna change them a little bit here. That's better. So what's my next course of action? Apart from conversing about the diorama layout, I was thinking of adding some more vegetation. And when I say vegetation, I am going to explain exactly what I mean. Okay, this thing is gonna be totally dry. There is no leaves on top of it because the whole scene is gonna get covered with snow, which means no grass, no grass tufts, no small bushes, nothing. This is gonna be this thing without leaves due to snow and cold, and some trees. Now I did some research, and I have found it out that I did some research about what trees I am going to use, and in order to focus on the trees, I opted to focus on the region first. So since we are talking for harsh winter, snow, etc., because the 88 is on winter camo, we are opting for Russia. I tend to model Russia a lot, so I don't know, I have a soft spot for them in my heart, to be honest with you guys. Although I don't build so many Russian armor, I'm gonna change that. I have a soft spot for them. So Russia it is, because of snow and harsh winter, and I did some research on the net to find out which trees are more common in Russia. So I have found it out. Fir, maple, I think maple, I don't remember well, spruce, and pine. So from all these trees, what I can replicate is the problem right now. I can only replicate spruce or pine. Mainly because I don't have, the proper ingredients to replicate something else. I have chosen pine mainly because I have some stuff that I can use laying around, and the second reason is that pine probably wouldn't shed its leaves during the winter. So we're gonna have some green to add interest. Now, my plan is to add a couple of small pine trees over here. Sorry guys, that was my cat as usual. So my plan is to add some small pine trees over here. And how I am going to replicate the pine trees. Let me move the diorama out of the way. It became heavier, okay. So, in order for us to make pine trees, we need the bark, something to use as a bark, and we need leaves for pine trees. Leaves for pine trees are easy, if you ask me, mainly because I am going to use static grass. So I have static grass laying around. Give me a moment, because right now I'm going to kill my cat. Okay, thank you guys. Cat is alive. I wasn't able to catch her, that's why. So, pine trees leaves, or spruce trees, there she is again. Static grass is for leaves, and let's talk about the bark. So, Michael advised me to use Christmas decoration trees. I did visited my I have visited my dollar store with the hope of finding something that resembles Christmas tree decorations. If I will have a photo of the Christmas tree decorations, I will place it over here somewhere on the screen. But I haven't found anything, which is typical for this time of the season. But anyway, I had that hope for no reason. Hope dies last over here, as we say. So what am I going to use? I am going to use something unorthodox as always, and I am going to try my best to make it work. So in my work we used to have decoration trees. One day one of those trees was going to get thrown away because its pot was destroyed. So before I throw it away, I plucked its leaves for diorama purposes. Its leaves were these things. So my plan is to use those things to replicate a relatively small pine or spruce. So because I need volume, I will glue two together. That's my thoughts for the time being, I will glue them together like this to give it volume, and then I am going to sprinkle add PVA on top of it, PVA glue, and then sprinkle some static grass. I think that my plan is solid so far, and I will try to tell you exactly what happened, how things worked out for me. Another update, guys, and it looks like we have a small success. Okay, I'm gonna call it a success. This time these trees look like something. They don't look like a generic tree. They look like a pine tree. Yeah, a pine tree or a spruce. I cannot remember what I've told you. Oh, a spruce tree. Okay, so I started with this one. This one was the first over here. I then, since I saw this one was a success, I opted to make a second one a little bit taller, and I created this one, which is tall enough, and it is kinda bendy, It cannot support its height, but that's okay. Then the pair become 3, and then 4, and then I said to myself, why have trees over here only? Let's add another one, a couple of over here as well. So I added this one, and I am going to make another one in front of camera. Now let me move the things aside, do some space, create some space, and try to demonstrate to you how I created these spruce trees. Now, for the creation of the spruce trees, I have to admit that I stole the idea. I mimicked the idea of Michael. Michael is none other than Lord Cohen. He is on YouTube. You can find him if you search him. Of course, for the guys that cannot find him, I will leave, as always, a link to his channel below. I have inspired by him and his how to create trees video, and I just deviated a little bit from his technique just by changing the armature, because I don't have the exact same materials that he has. So if you wanna see a more proper how-to, you will find it over there at Michael's channel. Now let's proceed with my how-to. What do we need for these spruce trees? We need an armature, of course. You know, we need a skeleton. Now this, you can either use a Christmas decoration tree. If I will find the photo, I will add it somewhere in the screen so you can see what I am talking about. And if you ask me, the Christmas decoration tree is the best, armature, the best skeleton for a spruce tree or a pine tree. But anyway, as I've told you, I haven't found it on my dollar store, and these are the stuff that we are going to use. These came from another decoration plant that I found. It was going to be trust, and I have taken its leaves in order to do something, in order to make them trees, bushes, etc., etc. This is my first time doing this, and since I have seen that it is a success, I will continue doing it. I will, progress it further. So we need this. We need static grass. I use the 2mm one. A container for PVA glue, of course, PVA glue, and various tools that you have laying around in your workbench. Now let me zoom in a little bit. Let's start from the skeleton creation, from our base creation. This is how I am approaching this stuff. So I decide what I want to do with them, what's the shape that I want to give them. Now I want to create a little bit taller tree, than the one I have already placed in that position. So I am opting for something like that. This side or the other side, let's see. I need to decide which side is. It is flat from both sides, but this one is better. Okay, so I am planning to glue this one over here. This one will give my tree a little bit more height and more volume, as you can see. Now how am I going to do this? I am going to remove a little bit over here. As you can see, it has an insert. I am going to insert my bamboo skewer over here. I use bamboo skewers to plug stuff onto my base, stuff like trees, etc., etc. I had them laying around for jobs like this. So, and now we are going to remove some leaves from over here. Okay, you can use a sprue cutter, but you can pluck them by hand. I don't care a lot, nothing of it will be visible. Let's remove this one as well from this tree. We don't need that. And now let's see. Pick a side with the less branches. This one, I think, this side, and now we are gonna glue it like so over here. Now what I use to glue it, to glue these things together, let me see how it looks. I need to plug this one as well. There. So what I use, the usual suspect, guys, hot glue, because it is fast and it can glue whatever you want to whatever you want, you know. It works almost with all mediums. It is fast and it holds stuff together nicely. Now I know that I am almost doing a haphazard job because I am on camera and I need to do it. I need to do this kinda quickly. I don't wanna bore you guys. I don't wanna have a big section of video. I don't know if I have the space to have a big section of video. Now, what we created over here, we gave this tree volume. If you want to give it more volume, you keep adding and adding and adding. I am not interested to give this tree more volume at the time being. I don't want it to be, you know, massive. Mainly for storage purposes. You can clip it if you see any long branch that looks unnatural. Yep. Okay, and now we have our skeleton ready. Next step, the easiest step. Let me grab a paper towel. Boom. I'm gonna place it over here. I'm gonna place this one on top of it. And now we need to cover all of it with PVA glue. Why, you may ask, but you will see later. Okay, let's grab my PVA. Pour some over here to my sacrificial jar. Yeah, I have many of them laying around, many sacrificial jars. They all serve a purpose, to my mind, only. And now, you can either dilute it, or you can slap it haphazardly all over your tree. I don't want to dilute it. I just want to slap it haphazardly because I want to cover everything on this tree. The effect is better if you can cover everything. As you can see, I leave as you can see, as I apply the PVA glue, you can see clumps of glue here and there. I know that this may be concerning to you guys, but it is not to me. Don't need to worry about that. We're gonna fix it later. Have faith in my technique over here. I know that this doesn't look professional, but it has good results. Make sure that you have covered the not the majority, all the tree, every nook and cranny, every branch, and every possible area that you can cover. Yeah, don't add a lot of it, add a lot of this stuff, because we need to hide some imperfection and we need to give even further volume to the tree. So let's move our stuff out of the way so you can have a better look. We don't need the sacrificial jar, and here, as you can see, I have a lot of glue applied over here. So, what's our next step now? Grab a box lid from your from any kit. I tend to have the box lid from our figures. We're gonna use it as a tray in order to gather any any leftover static grass. Boom. Okay, and now we move on to the static grass part. You open your static grass, either you have an applicator or not. If you have an applicator, you can do it with an applicator. If you don't have one in handy or you are too bored to use it, you don't need to. I just grab a clump of static grass and sprinkle it on top of my tree. Don't worry guys, you need to apply a lot of this material to get the desired effects. Just go slow, build it up step by step. You can add different shades, moving from darker to lighter shade of static grass, darker on the lower spots, lighter on the upper spots of the tree. Tap it lightly to knock any excess off. Give it a good thorough look to see if you have missed a spot or if you want to add some. And give me a moment. Let's gather. Oh no. Let's gather our excess grass and return it back to its baggie. Let's save it for another day. You don't need to throw it away, it is still usable. And now let's have a closer look. Okay, I know that you can see some PVA glue over here, but keep in mind that this will dry clear. It won't be visible, and here is the results. Of course, and you can sprinkle more. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff, like add 2 or 3 shades of static grass, as many shades as you wish, and of course you can build it. You can build more volume. If you wanna build more volume, right at this point, you just wait for it to dry. You spray it with hairspray, give it a liberal coat of hairspray, and you do the same stuff. You reapply more and more static grass. This way you build up the effect of the leaves. But I think that's good for my case. Now, let's add it to our base. Since we've made it, since we've demonstrated how it is done, let's add it to our base. Nope, let's move this aside. Okay, now I want to add this somewhere here. I believe that it is good, so do a hole in your base. Let me apply some PVA glue to my stick, to the bamboo skewer that I have plucked onto my tree, and you just press fit it, and there you have it, guys. This is how I created my spruce trees for this diorama. Now you may ask, what's my next step? Well, so I think that I am sure that I don't need any more vegetation. Trees are enough. I don't want to cramp the scene more. I believe that it is time for me now to paint the accessories of the diorama. When I say accessories, I am talking for spent ammunition cells, ammunition boxes, etc., etc. I am going to detail paint and weather those stuff. I am going to see where I want to place them, and then my next step will be to add the snow. Well, guys, one thing led to another as usual and here we are with the diorama completed. I wanna believe it is completed. I have been looking at it for at least 15 minutes now, trying to decide if I wanna do something else, if I wanna add something, or if I wanna change something, or the usual stuff. If it looks good enough, what should I have done differently, etc., etc. But I think that's good enough for the time being and for what I wanna portray over here. So what I have done since the last clip I've shown you. So let me grab a pointer. I have painted and assembled and painted the ammo boxes over here, stacked them in an orthodox position and an unorthodox. I just stuck them in this position just to give them some visual interest. I have also assembled and painted spent cells, which I have scattered all around the 88. I have added this little guy over here. Let me show you, give you a closer look if I can. I have positioned this little guy over here, and I have also attached the operation handles, one over here, one in front of his legs, and the visor, the binocular, rangefinder, whatever you want to call it. I have of course positioned the figures, pinned them in place. So we have the guy over here that gets the ammunition out of the ammo boxes, the guy that passes them, the loader, the gun operator, and the gun commander. Now there is a slight mistake. Okay, I can fix it, but I am going to leave it as it is right now. The commander would never. With a commander, nobody would ever sit in front of the shield, mainly because of the recoil of this tremendous gun. It would cause unnecessary, problems to him. So if I am to change something, I may reposition this guy and place him over here. But for the sakes of storytelling anyway, for the sakes of diorama layout, I am gonna leave him over there just to don't have many empty spaces. I have one over here, I don't need another one. Apart the pinning of the figures, the last thing I have done was the application of the snow. Okay, I first applied the snow and then I have pinned the figures and the accessories in place. Okay, I just told it this way because this way it came to my mind. So the application of the snow, what I have used for the snow, nothing else than baby powder, talcum, whatever you have in mind. This thing is great for snow, mainly because it does not turn yellow and it is, like dust. You can manipulate it as you wish. So I have applied liberal hairspray diluted PVA coat all over my base, and I have started building the snow layer by layer. First layer on top of the PVA, second layer once again, and from the third layer and onwards I have started spraying the base with hairspray. With hairspray, mainly because I didn't want to create clumps of of talcum powder, and mainly to help the powder stay in place. Now that is everything that I have done since the last time you have seen it. Now, what I wanna say, I believe that this build has come to an end. For the time being, I am really happy with it, and I don't want to change anything, or add anything else. What is my thoughts for Tamiya's 88 Flak 88 Flak 36-37? It is a really solid kit, guys, for its age. I am really happy with it. Detail is there. Apart from the detail, it builds together. It goes together wonderfully. It builds together as it should, as everything portrayed in the instructions. Instructions are detailed and they are helpful. They are really helpful for you to find what you want to find, to determine what you want to build. You wanna build a deployed gun? Yes, you can do that. You wanna build a gun that's being on transport mode? Yes, you can do that as well. You wanna build an AA gun? You can do that. You wanna build an anti-tank gun? You can do that as well. You wanna build a gun without the shield? You can do that. You have so many options, which is great for a kit of its age. I would definitely won't recommend that to a beginner, mainly because of the sheer amount of small pieces and sub-assemblies and things to keep in mind. But I would recommend it all the way from the moderate no, the experienced builder, the next step after the beginner, all the way up to the expert level. Yep, that's everything that I wanna say. Stick until the end of the video to see close-ups photo of this diorama. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this episode. On our next episode, we will probably find something to work on, find a new project. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting, and stick along for our next project. Before I go, I wanna thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video. A special thank you to all my subscribers, old and new ones. You guys are the best, and you are the reason I keep doing these videos. Now, for the newcomers out there that encounter one of my videos for the first time, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Damon signing out.